Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are now back to our game number 6 in this Malaysia versus Singapore matchup. So to introduce our players, on to the bottom left corner of Everdream LE, fighting for Team Malaysia, we've got the purple, tao ba purple to?
Pink? Fuchsia.
Pink?
Pink.
No, yeah,
Purplish pink. Hindi ko
purple.
alam.
We've got the Terran from Malaysia fighting for their tournament lives, Darkvoid. And now onto the upper right corner of Everdream LE, we've got the green Terran fighting for Singapore. Let's see if he can get this winning point for Team Singapore. We've got the green Terran, Clare. Two gas opening coming in here from Clare, but tingnan mo.
What?
Even though that he has two gas reactors, it is not fully saturated, so it is acting up as like a one gas reactor. But in terms of the transitioning into more tech, which means this means that it would be easier for him through transition with that two gas reactors already available. A little bit of better matchup on this both players, so I think the name of this game would be just upgrades, would be just play style mechanics. So we'll see about that. Darkvoid from Team Malaysia already making his way across the map with this Reaper Scout. Good decision onto the side of Clare from Team Singapore to actually uh, let his Reaper stay here in the base to defend any kinds of aggression coming in from the Reaper.
Yeah, so in this game, all comes down to the execution.
Yeah, I think
Since mirror matchup nga eh.
I think one of the more standard plays coming in into higher division players is that uh they like to open with that 3 Reaper Hellion, which is really strong in the early game in terms of harassing. But Dark Void opting to go for that Widow Mine for more security purposes. So we'll see about that. The third Reaper already near its completion onto the side of Clare. A little bit of chit chat. I think these players are friends, as we have mentioned that the Southeast Asian League promotes camaraderie for the respective nations that are participating.
Yeah, it's also pretty great to see. And hopefully in the future we have more events like these where
Mm-hmm.
countries from the Southeast Asia come together and do some scrimmages because it all around elevates the skill
Yeah,
ceiling of the league.
yeah. It good aggression coming in here from Claire, opting to go for that Raven instead, and more Reapers and with more Reapers and Hellions would be warp in here, but this would be immediately scouted by Dark Void from Team Malaysia. Will be forced to go back, and we'll see on what would be the defensive adjustments that he needs to do to counteract this composition onto the side of Claire. But both of them opting to go for Ravens. Now the siege tank also would be available onto the side of Dark Void, so Dark Void will be forced to play defensively a little bit as of the moment. And now here comes Ares. So we got Claire. We'll try to maneuver a little bit here. So I think the plan here is to throw in a little bit of aggression in the early game and maybe let someone dictate the pace of the mid game. But good defensive hold here, good composition onto the side of Dark Void, opting to go for that siege tank based defense. Would immediately shut down the threat of this Reapers.
Yeah, he also has this cyclone on the side of the base just in case there's a banshee that comes in for harassment.
Yeah, four SCVs has been taken down there. Good auto turret onto the side of Dark Void. Actually, uh, getting that lost mining time onto the side of Claire. But here comes the Raven. Would be going back once again We'll drop off an auto turret once more. 6 SCVs, 7 SCVs has fallen down. Make it 8. Alam mo mangyayari pag dinoble yung 8, pre?
Kakaroon ng 8-8.
Oo, gaara ng 8-8.
Galing. Alam ah. Pero, yeah, so, something na pinagkaiba nung dalawang Terran.
Well,
Darkvoid was prepared for
yeah.
any aerial attack from Ares with that cyclone on the side of the base, but Ares was not exactly prepared, only getting these missile turrets as a reaction from the harassment from the Raven.
Yeah, good reactions coming in onto the side of Clare. But good harassments also coming in onto the side of Darkvoid. But actually, Clare opting to go for that mech playstyle. So we'll see on how he would transition his mech. I think that's why he went with this Reapers early game, because he's not going to commit on bio. This Ravens would be the name of the game, but good reactions here onto the side of Darkvoid. I think he knows what is up onto the side of Clare, so he is now opting to go for that air superiority. Darkvoid opting to go for more Vikings as of the moment, since at this point Clare would just be would be hitting that Raven printer. It goes brr, brr. But yeah, this Raven's this Raven would be good against bio, since they can hit that anti-armor missile onto that bio and would soften it up for the mech force to follow up. We'll check on the upgrades. +1 attack and armor plus combat shields is near in completion onto the side of Darkvoid. And for the side of Clare, no armory present as of the moment. You know what that means?
What?
Terran mech is OP.
Why? Could you elaborate?
Well, Terran mech doesn't require a lot of APM. It is really not that mechanically demanding to play, unlike Terran Bio. But Uthermal actually made a tutorial on how to defeat Terran mech as a bio, so we'll see about that air superiority clearly onto the side in favoring Darkvoid here, so he can easily bang up all these Ravens. Only one Cyclone here onto the side of Clare. So yeah, the thing about mirror matchups is actually you need to get ahead of your opponent in terms of scouting, in terms of unit composition. So yeah, a little bit of stalemate happening here onto the side of Clare and Darkvoid, as every TVT is like this. We'll see what would be the we'll see what would be the move here onto the side for both teams. They need to force each other out of position. That is one of the key things in a TVT matchup.
Yeah, but Darkvoid a bit of a supply block earlier.
Yeah.
As they engage right now.
Yeah, good engagements coming in onto the side of Clare, eradicating what?
Oh. Bit of technical difficulties. Darkvoid was disconnected for a second, but
yeah,
back in the action.
Back in the action, ladies and gentlemen. Good interference matrix coming in onto the side of Clare. That's why the Ravens are really important in that kind of matchup. Getting that interference matrix on those siege tanks and just eradicating the bio force of Darkvoid, ladies and gentlemen. So another a good mirror matchup. Good reactions onto that by Clare. But yeah. Yo, shoutouts to SC2 Oschos. What we have said earlier was Ocho Ocho. You need to search that, man. It's a good song. It's by Bayani Agbayani, Filipino Pride. Anyway, back to the game. Uh, Darkvoid will try to opt to go for another engagement once again. And the thing about Terran Mech is that when they reach its critical mass, it's really hard to deal with. So plus one missile attack onto the side of both teams.
Yeah, and these big armies may be about to meet each other again soon,
Yeah,
as Darkvoid really wants to keep the pressure up.
yeah, he needs to keep the pressure up. You don't want those siege tanks piling up in masses. No
And
Vikings
that,
avail, no Ravens available here onto the side of Darkvoid. Only one. This Terran mech playstyle is really strong. Once they reach this critical mass, and once it sieges, you can't do anything about it. So
yeah, natunaw lang yung army ni Darkvoid dun.
yeah, man, completely eradicated. And I think with this kind of playstyle with Clare, he would just be opting to go for a turtling kind of playstyle when on where he wants his opponent to keep on attacking and he just needs to keep on defending, because at this point this looks very unbreakable as of the moment, as Claire also having that air superiority would be counter negating any kind of Raven pressure coming in onto the side of coming in onto the side of Darkvoid.
So for Darkvoid, what should he look to do to counter this setup of these siege tanks that seem to be impenetrable?
Well, he needs those Ravens to connect their interference matrix, or he can just do a Hail Mary with his huge Bioforce. But the thing about Terran Mech is they lack the mobility to move around, unlike this Bioforce of Dark Void.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, we're back, we're
We're
back.
back, we're back. So, I think Dark Void has a clear advantage in terms of mobility, so he needs to keep on pressuring this Terran to keep on moving across the map. But look at that, man. 23 siege tank, pare.
Yeah, so wala. Hindi
That
ka
is too
mapasok
much.
dyan. Pero like you said, no? Yung
Yeah.
mobility. So does that mean Medivac drops?
Yeah, I think medevac drops would be right, but not in front of those Vikings. Oh
Oh!
my goodness, good reactions coming in from Claire, reading that situation correctly. Vikings would land to defend too, but yeah, that I think that would be the name of the game. If you are Dark Void, that you need to keep on pressuring your opponent, you need to be more active, you need to be more mobile than your opponent, since this is the Terran mech. So a
Yeah, and
little bit.
both players at full supply by now.
Mhm. So I think what's at stake at this game is that Liberators would be also good to add at this point of the game. Uh, that's why air superiority is really important against Bio versus Mech, because because the air superiority is actually what makes the difference. Like if you have Liberators, you have Ravens, that would be good to counter this Terran Mech, but air superiority is truly the name of the game at this point. And mobility as well, as Dark Void is already making his way onto the other side, as he knows that this chonky chonky name, nababasa ko yung Twitch chat, this chonky Terran army is already making their way here onto the third expansion of Dark Void, and they would just be hammering away onto this planetary, a little bit of base race situation. But that bio force of Dark Void has been obliterated by these siege tanks that are here. A little bit of base race happening, but not that much enough force onto the side of Dark Void. 19 SCVs has been fallen down onto the side of Dark Void, but the battle cruisers has been activated here. Still a massive chunk of force onto the side of Ares. Two more battle cruisers would be ready to defend. What? Kala ko maka-cancel niya pa eh. But anyway, the battle cruisers would be cleaning up this siege tank composition coming in from Clare. Where is the area superiority that we are talking about? But yeah, the good battle cruiser pickup onto the side of Darkvoid, actually negating that chunky mech force of the side of Clare.
Yeah, the cavalry has arrived.
Yeah, ang taong gipit sa siege tank kumakapit. Ay sa ano, sa battle cruiser kumakapit.
Yeah. And actually also a base advantage right now for Darkvoid.
Yeah, we'll see if I think if this game opts to go for a longer in a in a in a longer time, I think Dark Void might have the edge at this part of the game since it's now opting for that massive battle cruiser deck. But here comes the air superiority that we are talking about. Vikings and Thors has been mixed into the fray once again. But the thing about Thors is that they are slower too. They are slow too. So which means that they would be having problems in terms of mobility again if Dark Void ever manages to stick with his bio composition.
Yeah, but great play coming up from Darkvoid. Just teleporting those 3 battle cruisers right on time to escape.
Yeah.
And are now being repaired in that third base.
+3 armored attack would be making its way onto the side of Clare. More battle cruisers coming into the fray onto the side of Dark Void. 4 more
Yeah, the
battle
Yamato
cruisers.
Cannon
And the Yamato Cannon
already
upgrade.
halfway through.
So, nangyayari sa Twitch chat ko ngayon, pinag-uusapan nila yung 8-8, kasalanan to ni Ryu. So huge shoutouts to you, SC2 Oshkos. I think he's from Korea. I think so. So welcome to my stream. You've been watching the stream always, so it's good to have you here. So here comes the engagements. The battle cruisers and the Thors has been battling it out. It's like a mix of Transformers and Star Wars, but Dark Void having the advantage onto this one. The area superiority coming in from Dark Void once again would be wreaking havoc onto those siege tanks that are parked down below. The Taurus has been cleared out, and the battle cruisers will just be hammering away onto those ground units.
Mukhang panalo yung mga Decepticon ngayong araw. Di ba lumilipad sila?
Isa lang eh.
Si Starscream, pati si, paano leader ng Decepticon?
Si Megatron.
Ayun.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Autobots not quite rolling out. Pero yeah, another army from Clare coming out with 1 Thor and these siege tanks that have been waiting earlier.
Yeah, I think this is really a strong composition coming in from Dark Void. Clearly Dark Void having the base advantage. And I think at this point, gusto mo ng big brain predictions?
Sige, bigyan natin ng caster's curse.
I think Malaysia would force a game number 7 onto our very first matchup for today. So this has been really an action-packed series, guys. So huge shoutouts to each and everyone for the team captains of the respective teams. For Butte for producing this good quality logos. Look at that, man. So here comes the Bioforce of Dark Void once again. We'll try and pest the defense of Clare. And look at that. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh!
Sana yung soundboard ng boom.
Need ba natin nun?
Oh.
Those medibacks going down.
Yeah, anyway. Those Bioforce would be wiped out once again onto the side of Dark Void. But if you are Clare, you don't want to be taking this drastic engagements as Dark Void has a lot of bases ready to fund up his economical needs. Look at that, man. almost every mineral patch has been taken in by Darkvoid. A little bit of multi-prong harassment coming in from Clare. So at this point, I think Darkvoid has reached his critical mass, proactively countering those mech units of Clare in the early game. 4 more battle cruisers being mixed into the fray. 11 battle cruisers controlling the sky onto the side of Darkvoid already.
Yeah, and in terms of supply, Dark Void outnumbering Claire right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a question in Twitch chat earlier from Hinzuki07.
Yeah.
How do you qualify for this tournament?
Well, how do you qualify? Well, since it's the very first ever Southeast Asian Leagues, the captains of each team who has been really active in the esports scene in the Starcraft of their respective countries has handpicked their players. But I think to be handpicked, you really need to be active in terms of the community scene of your respective countries, because join tournaments, join join practice sessions if your country has one, which is a really good way to be exposed in this kind of competition that we are having. And here comes the massive battle cruiser force onto the side of Darkvoid, would be cleaning out